formal introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Concord Players Traveling Troupe, and we have put together not our Christmas program this year. This is the last vintage of our traveling troupe comedy situation that we are going to be presented. December, we do mostly holiday things, and so we will be doing 3 performances in December of holiday stuff. As you know, we are all members of the Concord Players, senior members to be sure. Therefore, there are not a lot of parts available to us in the regular season of things. So some very wise person at Concord Players came up with this idea of a way to keep us old actors and actresses busy and out of trouble. So we have put together this group to entertain at the Council on Aging facilities in the area. And we also do assisted living and some nursing homes. We have a program that is more musical that we use for those places. We have combined music with our short sketches, and we think we have something that's a lot of fun and you can all really enjoy. You all are all mobile enough to be getting over to Concord Players to see their season, and they have a wonderful season this year. Arcadia has gone by, and frankly, it was a little boring, so if you've missed it, don't think anything about it. But they have 2 new ones coming up. Secret Garden will be in the springtime. It's musical, and it's lovely. And The Country House, which is a wonderful play about a theatrical family that gets together in the summer times in the Berkshires, and all the angst and problems that go on in a very theatrical family. So it's quite interesting, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. So without further ado, I am going to start out with one of our troubadours. We now have 2 since another singing member has joined our group. And I'm going to introduce to you Tom Ruggles, whom some of you may see when you come out of anesthetic at the Emerson Hospital and you're trapped and you can't get away, and he will sing to you to his heart's content. Thank you, Tom. Come on up.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to expose you to an instrument you've never seen before. And this instrument is called a fluke. Now, what is a fluke? A fluke is shaped like a lute, but it's tuned like a ukulele. And I'm going to do a song for you now that was written by a fellow named Tom Lehrer. You all know Tom Lehrer because you're all old enough. And it's called Bonding Song. I always will remember, 'twas a year ago, November. I went out to hunt some deer on a morning bright and clear. I went and shot the maximum the game laws would allow. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a cow. I was in no mood to trifle. I took down my trusty rifle. I went out to stalk my prey. What a haul I made that day. I tied them to my fender and I got them home somehow. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a cow. The law was very firm. It took away my permit, the worst punishment I ever endured. Seems there was a reason. Cows were out of season, and one of the hunters wasn't insured. Now, people ask me how I do it, and they say there's nothing to it. You just stand there looking cute, and when something moves, you shoot! And there's 10 stuffed heads in my trophy room right now. 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a purebred Guernsey cow.
Okay, folks, now we do a series of little short skits. And this first one is called Seeing Eye Dogs.
2 women who had been out walking their dogs, were sitting on a park bench discussing what to do with the rest of their afternoon. One woman had a Doberman, the other a Chihuahua. As they sat and observed the comings and goings in the park, the one with the Doberman said to her friend,
Let's go over to that bar for a drink.
We can't go in there. We've got our dogs with us.
Just watch and do as I do.
They walked over to the bar, and the one with the Doberman put on a pair of dark glasses and walked in. Suddenly, she was accosted by the bouncer.
Sorry, lady, no pets allowed.
Well, you don't understand. This is my seeing eye dog.
A Doberman?
Yes, Dobermans are being used now. They're very good.
Oh, well, very good. Go on.
The lady with the Chihuahua felt that convincing him, the bouncer, that a Chihuahua was a seeing eye dog might be a bit more difficult, but thought, what the heck? So she put on her dark glasses and started to walk in.
Sorry, lady, no pets allowed.
Well, you don't understand. This is my seeing eye dog.
A Chihuahua?
They gave me a freaking Chihuahua?
Glad to see you're listening. The next one is two Irish ladies in the pub. Get my glass so I can drink.
Two women were sitting next to each other at a bar. After a while, one looks at the other and says,
Wait a minute. That's what she said, because I mixed up my scripts. Here we go. I can't help but think, from listening to you, that you're from Ireland.
Oh, that I am, sure.
Well, so am I. Whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
I'm from Riverston in Tipperary.
Oh, so am I. And what street did you live on?
Oh, it was a lovely little area in the East End. I lived on Colleen Street, in the old central part of town.
Well, faith and begorra, so did I. 'Tis a small world. What school did you go to now?
Oh, well now, I went to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, of course.
And so did I. Tell me, what year did you graduate?
Oh, well now, let's see. I graduated in 1964.
Oh, the good Lord must be smiling down upon us. I can hardly believe that good luck winding up in the same bob tonight. Can you believe it? I graduated from the Sacred Heart of Mary in 1964 myself.
Oh, Maeve, I'll have myself a pint.
It's going to be a long night.
Why do you say that, Maeve?
The Murphy twins are drunk again.
Okay. Next. What the heck have I done with myself? Next is the high cost of dying. We are seated at an office area. Now, it sounds gruesome, but it's really pretty clever. Listen to it.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, well, welcome to Long Dust. Can I help you?
I read your ad. I'm interested in the $65 funeral.
Was that for yourself?
No.
Well, for another. Well, may I ask, where did you catch that ad?
It was a pop-up ad on my computer.
Well, I'm just trying to find out where our trade comes from. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you some questions.
Well, that's all right.
Can you tell me what was the loved one's name?
Seymour Maslow Freen.
Is that hyphenated?
It was.
And the loved one's address?
44118 Southeast Huguenot, Walloon Drive.
And may I ask what your name is?
Charlie.
Charlie, I'm Miss Loomis, your grief lady.
Hi.
Is it Charlie Maslow Freem?
Yes.
Well, you're related. Ah, well, that will be $65.
Yes, that's okay.
Wonderful. Now, before you go, Mr. Maslow-Freem, would you be interested in some extras for your loved one?
What kind of extras?
Well, how about a casket?
Isn't that included in the funeral?
No, it isn't.
We have to have a casket.
Well, it looks better.
How much?
Well, we have 3 prices: $768, $243, and $14.98.
Ah, may I ask, what do those prices represent?
Well, one is mahogany, one is oak, and the other is nubby plywood.
Nubby plywood. Tell me, what kind of an appearance does that make?
Cheap.
I'll take the oak.
Oak, all right.
Thank you very much.
I am sorry to intrude this way on your grief. I just wondered, can you tell me how you planned on getting Mr. Maslow-Freem down here?
A cab?
Well, you're going to have to give the driver an enormous tip.
You don't happen to have a hearse, do you?
Oh, yes, we do. For $35, I can give you an exquisite Cadillac slumber wagon.
All right, $35.
35 now. Now, how about someone to drive it?
That's not included?
No, it isn't.
All right, we have to have a driver. I can't drive it myself.
Yes, all right.
Is that all?
Well, this is just the last, and I once again am truly sorry. It is my job. Had you planned at all on burying Mr. Maslow?
Madam, that was foremost in my mind.
Ah, do you happen to have a plot?
No, but I'm sure you do.
Ah, yes, we do. We have 3 prices. Yes, to $824.46, $493.58, and $10.
I'm just curious, what happens for $10?
Well, for $10, we have 2 men who come and take Mr. Maslow-Freem away and do God knows what with him.
You see, I told you it's not gruesome. It's really kind of, and probably very truthful. This next bit is a fairly well-known piece by American writer Dorothy Parker. First published in Cosmopolitan magazine, March 31st, 1931. The story was written entirely in dialogue, describing a tense scene between a newly married couple traveling by train to New York City for the first night of their honeymoon. Not something you'd see today, folks.
Well, here we are.
Yes, here we are, aren't we?
Yep, I should say so. Here we are. How does it feel to be an old married lady?
Oh, it's too soon to ask me that. Oh, my goodness, we've only been married about 3 hours.
No, we have been married exactly 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Well, it seems longer. I didn't have any idea what time it was, and everything was so mixed up, I sort of don't know where I am. Getting back from the church and changing my clothes, and then everybody throwing things. Goodness, I don't know how people do it every day.
Do what?
Get married.
Oh.
When you think of all the people all over the world getting married, just as if it were nothing.
Well, let's not worry about a lot of people all over the world. We've got something better to think about. I mean, what do we care about them?
I know, but I just got to thinking about all these people doing it all the time. I mean, getting married, you know, and how does anyone know what's going to happen next?
Well, let them worry. We don't have to. We know exactly what's going to happen next. No, well, we know it's going to be great. Don't we? I mean, we're gonna be happy, aren't we?
Of course. Only it does make you feel funny. An awful lot of people that get married, it doesn't turn out so well. And I guess they all must have thought it was going to be great.
Oh, come on now. What's all this talk about? I mean, there's no way to start a honeymoon. Look at us. We're all married and all, and everything done. I mean, the wedding is all done and all.
And it was nice, wasn't it?
Oh.
Did you like my veil?
Oh, you looked great. Just great.
I'm so terribly glad you think so. Ellie and Louise look lovely, didn't they? I am so glad they finally decided on pink.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. When I was standing up there in that old church waiting for you to come up, and I saw those two bridesmaids, I thought, ooh, I never knew that Louise could look like that. I thought she would have knocked anybody's eye out.
Oh, really? Funny. Of course, everybody thought her dress and hat were lovely, but a lot of people seem to think she looks sort of tired. Louise can say she's 23 all she wants to, but she's a good deal closer to 33.
Well, she said it was a knockout at the wedding, boy.
Oh, I'm terribly glad you thought so. How did you think Ellie looked?
Well, honestly, I didn't get a good look at her.
Oh, really? I don't suppose I have to say this about my own sister, but I never saw anyone look as beautiful as Ellie looked today. It makes me feel just awful that you don't like my own sister.
But you so like her. I think she's a great kid.
Well, it isn't anything to her, whether you like her or not. She's got enough people crazy about her. When we get back to the apartment, it's going to be awfully sad for me that you don't want my family around.
Oh, now what's all this talk about not wanting your family around? I think your old lady, I think your mother is sweet, and Ellie, and your father too.
Well, I've seen it happen. Lots of people, they get married and they think it's going to be great, and then it all goes to pieces because people don't like people's families.
Honey, what are you getting angry about? Look at this. Look, we're on a honeymoon. You trying to start a fight for, huh? I guess you're just sort of feeling sort of nervous.
Me?
Yeah.
What have I got to be nervous about?
Now, you know, lots of times they say girls get kind of nervous and yippy, and I'm kind of thinking about, it's like you said, all the things that were sort of mixed up, but afterwards, it'll be all right. I mean, look, honey, you don't look too comfortable. Wouldn't you mind to take that hat off and let's not ever fight again, will we?
Oh, I'm sorry I was cross. I guess I did feel a little bit nervous. Yes, let's not ever fight.
Yeah.
Won't be a lot like a lot of them. We won't be fight or be nasty or anything, will we?
You bet your life we won't. Yeah.
I guess I will take this damn darn hat off. It kind of presses. Now, just put it up on the rack, sweetheart, will you? Do you like it, sweetheart?
Yeah, it looks good on you.
No, but do you really like it?
Well, I know this is the new style and everything, and it's probably great, but I like that blue hat you had.
Oh, really? Well, that's nice. The first thing you say to your wife is you think she has terrible taste in hats.
Oh!
What you don't seem to realize is that this hat costs $22, and that horrible old blue thing you're so crazy about, that costs $3.95.
I don't give a darn what they cost. I only said that I like the blue hat.
Well, it's too bad you didn't marry somebody that would wear the kind of hats you like. Why didn't you marry Louise? You always think she looks so beautiful.
Oh, yeah? Well, listen, baby. While you're talking about things like that, why didn't you marry Joe Brooks? I suppose he could have given you all the $22 hats you wanted, I bet you.
Well, maybe I'm sorry I didn't marry him. Joe Brooks wouldn't have waited till he got me off all alone and then sneered at my taste in clothes. Joe Brooks has always been very fond of me. I happen to know he's away on business, and as soon as he comes back, he'll give me anything I want for the apartment.
Listen, I don't want anything that he gives you, I don't want in the apartment. Anything he gives you, I'm going to throw right out the window. That's what I think of your Joe Brooks. And how do you know where he is and what
what he's going to do anyway. Has he been writing to you?
I suppose my friends can correspond with me.
Well, I suppose they can. I'm not going to have my wife getting a lot of letters from a cheap traveling salesman.
Joe Brooks is not a cheap traveling salesman. He makes a very good salary.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you hear that?
He told me so himself.
Oh, he told you so himself, huh? I see. He told you so himself.
You've got a lot of right to talk about Joe Brooks. All you ever talk about is Louise.
Oh, what do I care about Louise? I just thought she was a friend of yours. You know, that's why I ever noticed her.
Well, you certainly took an awful lot of a notice of her today. On our wedding day. You said so yourself when you were standing there in church. You just kept thinking of her, right in the presence of God.
Listen, honey, I should never have said that. I was just telling you that because it was kind of crazy, you know. I thought it would make you laugh.
Well, it didn't.
No, it didn't. I know.
You know, we used to squabble a lot when we were going together, but I thought everything would be different as soon as we got married.
Well, it will. It will. It will. We haven't got much longer now. I mean, you know, we'll be in New York in about 20 minutes, and then we can have dinner and, you know, sort of do what we feel like doing, you know. I mean, is there anything that you would like to do tonight? I mean, go to a show or something?
What?
Well,
whatever you like. I sort of didn't think people planned things on their... I mean, I've got a couple of letters that I simply must write.
Oh? Well, when you're finished writing your letters, maybe I could give you a magazine and a bag of pretzels.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't want you to be bored.
Oh, as if I could ever be bored with you, silly.
Oh, well, maybe we go to a show some other night instead. Don't you think that would be better, huh? And we won't ever fight ever again, will we?
No, it'll all be different now that we're married. Oh, reach me down my hat, would you, sweetheart? Thanks. I'm so sorry you don't like it.
Oh, I do so like it. I love that hat.
Well, that's not what you said before.
Honey, stop it. What do you want to start things like for? I love that damned hat. I love everything you wear. What more do you want me to say?
Well, I don't want you to say it like that.
I said I think it's great.
Do you really? I'm so glad. I'd hate for you not to like my hat. It would be, I don't know, it would be such a bad start.
Well, I am crazy for it. Oh, baby lamb, we're not gonna start having any bad starts. Oh, look at us. We're all married and on our honeymoon. Pretty soon we'll be old married people. I mean, in a few minutes we'll be getting into New York, and then we'll be going to the hotel, and then everything will be all right. Well, look at us. Here we are, all married and everything.
Yes, here we are.
Yeah.
That's it. Again, not what we're used to today at all, right? Right. Okay, the next thing is another musical interlude. Katie and Tom are going to do the lovely Light a Rose from The Music Man.
Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in my sky. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong, ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong, ding, and the leaves just sing. I'll pop the question. Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a
you all have to help him get up. Thanks, folks. Now we're going to do a series of about 15 little, they're almost like one-liners. The key to it all is your uproarious laughter after the punchline, okay? The first one is called Down at the Retirement Center.
I put the specs on here. 80-year-old Bessie bursts into the rec room at a retirement home. She holds up her clenched fist in the air and announces,
Anyone who can guess what's in my hand can have sex with me tonight.
Could it be an elephant?
Close enough.
Next one, Old Friends.
Two elderly ladies who have been friends for many decades over the years. They have shared all kinds of activities and adventures. Lately, their activities have been limited to meeting every week to play cards.
Now, don't get mad at me, but I know we've been friends for a long time, but I just can't think of your name. I've thought and I've thought and I can't remember it. Please tell me your name.
How soon do you need to know?
Very familiar, right? Next one is called Lost.
An elderly Floridian called 911 on her cell phone to report that her car had been broken into. She's hysterical as she explains the situation to the dispatcher.
They've stolen the radio, the steering wheel, the brake pedal, and even the accelerator.
The dispatcher advises her to stay calm and that an officer is on the way. A few minutes later, the officer radios in.
Disregard. She got in the back seat by mistake.
That's not even so funny. I've heard of things like that happening. This next one is called Family.
Three sisters aged 92, 94, and 96 live in a house together. One night, the 96-year-old draws a bath. She puts her foot in the tub and pauses.
Was I getting in or out of the tub?
I don't know. I'll come up and see. Was I going upstairs or downstairs?
I sure hope I never get that forgetful. Knock on wood. I'll come up and help you both as soon as I see who's at the door.
Now that's funny. Come on. Okay. The next one is called Retired Couple. No? Family. Little lady. Excuse me. My fault.
A little old lady was running up and down the halls in a nursing home. As she walked, she would flip up the hem of her nightgown and say,
Super sex!
She walked up to an elderly man in a wheelchair. Flipping her gown at him, she said,
Super sex!
He sat silently for a moment or two and then finally answered,
I'll take the soup.
Now is the retired couple.
A retired man and his wife are sitting at their table patio enjoying a glass of wine one evening. The wife sighs and says,
Oh, I do love you. In fact, I love you so much that I don't think I could live without you.
Is that you talking or the wine?
It's me talking to the wine.
The next one is called The Pilot.
A group of people are flying on a commercial aircraft. A young woman passenger senses that something is wrong because of a change in the movement of the plane. She goes up to the cockpit and notices that the pilot has passed out. Hearing a voice on the radio, she picks up the microphone and frantically says,
The pilot has passed out. We need help. I've never piloted an airplane.
Don't panic. Everything will be all right. I've talked people through landing your type of aircraft many times. Just listen carefully to me and do what I say. Now start by giving me your height and position.
I'm 5'4" and I'm in the co-pilot seat.
Oh, Repeat after me, very slowly. Our Father, who art in heaven.
Very funny. Okay. This next one is called The Irishman.
I'm sitting here.
Oh, my. Where am I?
You're not in this one. I was going to let him struggle a while, but you know, sometimes we help each other out.
Yeah.
That's right. I knew I was in it.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah,
sit.
an Irishman
There
was
you go.
driving home from a pub about 1:30 in the morning. His car was weaving and he was driving too fast. It had too much to drink. A policeman stopped him, reprimanded him for going, asked him where he was going at this time of night.
Ossifer. I'm in a hurry to get to the lecture.
And blarney, what would anyone be lecturing on at this time of the night?
Well, it's a lecture on the awful damaging effects of alcohol on your body, your mind, and your life.
Blarney, and who would it be that would be giving that lecture at this time of the night?
That would be me wife.
Next is called The Italian Tomato Garden. Those are all important keywords.
An old Italian man lived alone in New Jersey. He wanted to plant his annual tomato garden, but it was very difficult work as the ground was hard. His only son, Vincent, who used to help him, was in prison. The old man wrote a letter to his son and described his predicament.
Dear Vincent, I'm feeling pretty sad because it looks like I won't be able to plant my tomato garden this year. I'm just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. I know that if you were here, my troubles would be over. I know you would be happy to dig the plot for me, like the good old days. Love, Papa.
A few days later, he received a letter from his son.
Dear Pop, don't dig up that garden. That's where the bodies are buried. Love, Vinny.
At 4 a.m. the next morning, FBI agents and local police arrived and dug up the entire area without finding any bodies. They apologized to the old man and left. That same day, the old man received another letter from his son.
Dear Pop, you can go ahead and plant the tomatoes now. That's the best I could do under the circumstances. Love you, Vinny.
This next one is called The Priest and the Boy.
Oh, bless me, Father, for I have sinned with a loose girl.
Is that you, little Joey Pagano?
Yes, Father, it is.
And who was the girl you were with?
Oh, I can't tell you, Father. I don't want to ruin her reputation.
Well, Joey, I'm sure to find out her name sooner or later, so you might as well tell me now. Was it Tina Vinetti?
I cannot say.
Was it Teresa Mazzarelli?
No, I'll never tell.
Was it Nina Capelli?
I'm sorry, but I cannot name her.
Was it Kathy Piriano?
My lips are sealed.
Was it Rosa D'Angelo then?
Please, Father, I cannot tell you.
You're very tight-lipped, and I admire you for that, but you've sinned and have to atone.
Oh.
You cannot be an altar boy now for 4 months. Now you go and behave yourself.
Oh, thank you, Father. Oh.
What did you get?
4 months vacation and 5 new leads.
That's a little subtle maybe, right? This next one takes place in an operating room between a senior operating doctor and his very devoted nurse.
Is there someone else?
there something else you'd like? Suture? Sponge?
Is there somebody else?
I don't care to discuss it now, thank you.
It's Pinsky, isn't it?
I don't care to talk about it.
I saw you in this cafeteria with Pinsky.
I just don't care to talk about it, Dr. Harris. Now, would you like anything else? Otherwise, I'd like to go.
Leave? In the middle of an operation?
Well, I have nothing more to hand you. You've got it all in the patient.
Edith, what have I done to hurt you?
You haven't done anything to hurt me. I just wish you wouldn't badger me this way.
Badger you?
I need time to think. I've told you that before.
I don't know you like this. You're cold. You're diffident.
Because you badger me.
I haven't badgered you.
You're only making me run away.
Is it badgering you to tell you that I love you? Is that badgering you?
Please do not tell me that over and over again in operations in the cafeteria.
All right. I'm sorry. Give me a needle.
Needle.
Thread.
Do you mean suture?
Yes.
Would you like me to thread it for you too?
I don't need to know what I'm doing. Yes.
See, you never know what's going on when you're under anesthetic. Okay, this next one is called Medicare in a Nutshell.
This is supposed to be over here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hello?
Mrs. Sanders, please.
Speaking?
Mrs. Sanders, this is Dr. Jones at St. Agnes Laboratory. When your husband's doctor sent in his biopsy to the lab last week, a biopsy from another Mr. Sanders arrived as well. We are now uncertain which one belongs to your husband. Frankly, either way, the results are not too good.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, one of the specimens tested positive for Alzheimer's, and the other one tested positive for HIV. We can't tell which is which.
Well, that's dreadful. Can you do the test again?
Normally we can, but Medicare will only pay for these expensive tests one time.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
Well, the folks at Medicare recommend that you drop your husband off somewhere in the middle of town. If he finds his way home, don't sleep with him.
Little common sense there, folks, right? This last is called Save My Chickens. The introduction is as follows. Farmer Jack lives on what was once a quiet rural highway, but traffic has been slowly building up and is now so heavy that his free-range chickens are being run over at a rate of 3 to 6 a week. He has been phoning the local police to complain. He is discussing the whole story with his visiting cousin, Sam.
I told the police that they've got to do something about those damn people driving so fast and killing my chickens. I said I didn't care what they do, anything to stop those crazy drivers.
What did they do?
They put up a sign that said school crossing, but it didn't work. The school crossing sign seemed to make cars go even faster. So they changed it to another sign, slow children at play.
How did that work?
Oh, it really sped those drivers up. I called the police again and I told them that their damn signs are no good. I asked them if I could put up my own sign.
And did they let you?
Well, because they were so tired of me calling continually, they said, sure, go ahead.
You actually put up your own sign?
You bet your bippy I did. And since then, Since then, not one chicken has been killed.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see it when I drove up this morning. I'll go out and get a look at it. Nudist colony. Slow down for the chicks.
Okay, that's the end of those little short takes, as we call them. We find them everywhere. Some of them are things from Elaine May and what's his face, who was the guy that used to perform with her. That's right. And we think they're really pretty funny, and laughter is what it's all about today, right? Okay, next one.
This next one is called I'm Herbert. This was one of 3 short plays that was taken up from a Broadway play called You Know I Can't Hear You When the Water is Running by Robert Anderson. An old man is sitting in one of the rocking chairs on his side porch. It's summer. He is bird watching with his binoculars.
Oh, Baltimore Oriole. Bobolink. Rose-breasted grosbeak. Oh, yes. Oh, black-billed cuckoo. Grace, I just saw a black-billed cuckoo.
My name is Muriel, foolish old man.
I know your name is Muriel. That's what I called you.
You called me Grace. Grace was your first wife.
I called you Muriel. You're just hard of hearing and won't admit it. Grace, that's what I said.
There, you said it.
What?
Grace, you called me Grace.
Silly old woman. You call me Harry, and then sometimes I call you Grace.
Can you hear yourself?
What?
I said, can't you hear yourself?
Of course I can hear myself. It's you that can't hear. I say you called me Harry sometimes, and your second husband, and sometimes George, your first.
I never did. You're saying that because you call me Grace, and once in a while, Mary.
You just don't hear.
What's my name?
Silly question. Muriel, you're Muriel. Grace is my first wife. Mary was way long ago before that.
Mary was before Grace.
No, she wasn't.
She was.
I should know who was my first wife, damn it, woman.
Oh, that's safe. Just call me woman. You won't get confused. It's not very flattering, but it's better than being called the names of your other wives. My name is Muriel. Your name's Harry.
Did you hear? You called me Harry, pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, you got me confused, that's all. You always could make me, mix me up. But then, back then when we were going to Europe.
We've never been to Europe. That was Harry.
You and I went to Europe.
We did not. Grace and I went to Europe on our honeymoon. That's when I had money before women had all taken it away.
Well, I've been to Europe with you.
You and Harry went to Europe.
I went to Europe with George, too.
Yes, well, I'm Herbert.
We've never been to Europe?
Singly, not together.
I think we have. You've forgotten.
I've got a perfectly good memory.
You can't even remember my name. You and I were in Venice together. You're ashamed to remember it because of the scandalous good times we had. You loved me then.
I didn't love you when you were in Venice, having a scandalous good time with whichever one it was, George or Harry. Which was it?
It was you.
I've never been to Venice in my life.
You were sick, and you were too tight to hire a nurse, so you married me.
I got well. Why didn't I kick you out? Oh, now don't cry. You know I don't mean it. You were always crying. Cried buckets at our son's wedding. Took on something awful.
We didn't have any children. And I don't cry. That was Mary. I'm Muriel.
It's no wonder I get confused, which I'm not. But you all this time saying Grace, Mary, Muriel.
I'm just trying to straighten you out.
What difference does it make? I answer when you call me Bernie.
I never called you Bernie. I maybe once or twice called you Harry when I woke up sudden-like and didn't know where I was. But I never knew a Bernie.
Bernie.
I never heard of him.
He'd be pleased to hear that.
Who was he?
You were carrying on with him when I met you.
I was married to Harry when you met me.
And carrying on with Bernie. Then, of course, he cleared out.
That must have been Grace.
You were carrying on with her?
No! Grace must have been carrying on with Bernie.
Grace wasn't married before. I was her first.
Not married, carrying on.
She was married to Harry and carrying on with Bernie.
You said she wasn't married before.
You were.
Oh, what day of the week is it?
What's that got to do with
You
it?
can't remember anything anymore. Senile old man Bernie Walters.
That's him.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
I never heard of him.
You just said his name.
You've been saying it here for an hour. I just repeated it.
You said Bernie Walters.
I said I never heard of him. And besides, I wasn't married to Harry when I met you. It was George. If I'd been married to Harry, I wouldn't have looked at you. Fine, strapping man. May he rest in peace. Oh, what we did in Venice.
You see, it was Harry in Venice.
Of course it was Harry in Venice.
You said it was me.
You? You wouldn't have had it in you to do a thing like that.
What? A thing like what?
Oh, don't be jealous of a dead man. I've done my best to forget him, George, like I promised when I married you.
I'm Herbert.
Oh, if I thought you knew what you were talking about, I'd get mad. But I know you're just babbling. Babbling Bernie, that's you. Herbert used to say, how can you listen to him babble?
I'm Herbert.
If it makes you feel more secure, go on, keep reminding yourself.
You called me Bernie.
Oh, sure. And you've never been to Chicago.
I have so. I went there when my daughter died.
Well, I'm glad you admit it.
Why shouldn't I admit it? It's so. You just try to confuse me. Bernie, Harry, George, Mary, Muriel.
And you've never been to Chicago, I suppose?
Never. Why should I have gone to Chicago?
Only because our daughter died there and we went to the funeral.
We had no children together.
I think we shouldn't talk anymore now. You're getting terribly confused.
You never let me near your lily white body.
Ho, ho. And what about that afternoon under the willow tree? I think that's when we conceived Ralph.
Who's Ralph?
Ralph is your stepson, good God.
I conceived my stepson under the willow tree.
I'd prefer it if we just remain quiet for a while. You can't follow a train of thought for more than a moment. And it's very tiring trying to jump back and forth with you. Just close your eyes and rest.
Venice.
Yes. Oh, yes. Wasn't that lovely? Oh, you were so gallant, if slightly shocking.
Oh, yes. The beach.
The willow tree.
Oh, you running around naked. Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yes, lovely. Confusion reigns sometimes, right? Okay, our next is an old version you'll recognize of a very popular show at one time called Dragnet.
Los Angeles, California. Some people rob for pleasure, some rob because it's there. You never know. My name's Friday, I'm a cop. I was working the day watch out of robbery when I got a call from the Acme School Bell Company. There'd been a robbery.
There's been a robbery.
Yes, sir, what was it?
My clappers.
Your clappers?
Yeah, you know those things inside the bell that makes them clang?
The clangers?
Yeah, that's right. But we call them clappers in the business.
A clapper, a caper.
What's that?
Oh, nothing, sir. Now, can I have the facts? What kind of clappers were stolen on this caper?
They were copper clappers
And where were they kept?
in the closet.
Uh-huh. You have any ideas who might have taken the copper clappers from the closet?
Well, just as I'd fired a man who swore that he would get even,
What was his name?
Claude Cooper.
You think?
That's right. I think Claude Cooper caught my copper clappers kept in the closet.
You know where this Claude Cooper is from?
Now,
That
Cleveland.
That figures.
Now, what makes it worse is they were clean.
Clean copper clappers.
That's right.
Why would you think Cleveland's Claude Cooper would cop your clean copper clappers kept in your closet?
Only one reason.
What was that?
He's a kleptomaniac.
Who first discovered the copper clappers were copped?
My cleaning woman. My cleaning woman, Clara Clifford.
That figures. Now let's see if I've got the facts straight here. Cleaning woman Clara Clifford discovered your clean copper clappers kept in a closet were copped by Claude Cooper, the kleptomaniac from Cleveland. Is that it?
Just one more thing.
What was that?
If I ever catch kleptomaniac Claude Cooper from Cleveland who caught my clean copper clappers kept in the closet,
Yes.
I'll clobber him.
Well, now, in closing, we are going to present something that will not leave a dry eye in the house, a delightful song from our troubadour, Mr. Tom Ruggles, called Old Bones.
You all remember George Burns. He's lived to be 100 years old. When he turned 80, he commissioned some guy down in Tin Pan Alley to write a song just for him. As far as I know, he's the only man that ever sang it. And the song was called Old Bones. Inside an old raincoat, old bones. Inside of old shoes, old friends from my hometown come by and hang around and bring me up to date on all the old news. Sometimes I has me a whiskey and fall asleep in my chair, and I dream that I'm a man much younger than I am. I'll bet you think by now that I wouldn't care, but I love life. I'd like to do it again and be a man much more than I'd ever been, just to have the chance to turn back the hands and let my life begin. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again. You know, folks, it's time for taking it easy. It's time for taking it slow. Old bones don't go so fast as they once did in the past. Now if I have to run, I simply don't go. But I love life, I'd like to do it again and be a man much more than I've ever been. just to have the chance to turn back the hands and let my life begin. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again. Oh yeah, I'd like to do it again.
Thank you for your patience and your time, and I hope you enjoyed what we brought to you today.